Hi, everyone. We're live here with Pre-K to Mastery. It is a special edition. We are down on Bourbon Street in New Orleans here on October 24th with our esteemed panel. We've got Kelly Duncan-Smith, we got Tracy Gagne, myself, Kevin Debs, and Hank and Gina Bertodatto, and the lovely Glenn Sanford, who's chosen to stand today. He doesn't want to sit down. Glenn, it's okay. You can take it easy. I know you've been doing a lot of work here at eXp. You can just sit down whenever you're free. But the nice thing about this is we have a live event. It's eXpCon. And Hank and Gina are down there representing the team and having a blast. And they're going to go into why this is so important to be able to take these events and really provide some value to yourself as an agent, but also as a team. So, Hank, if you wouldn't mind, with Gina, tell us a little bit about eXpCon and why it's been so important to be there.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. And yeah, we're here live, not far from Bourbon and Canal Street in downtown New Orleans on the Riverside at the Hilton. Great event. We actually have 2,000 attendees. Last year was about 870 at this event. So we over doubled what we're doing. And yes, that is Mr. Glenn Sanford behind me. His avatar, he's chosen not to speak this morning. He's going to remain silent in the background. But yeah, we're super excited, and we're going to pull in some walking by guests as we go through this morning. I know Tracy and Kelly have had a lot of experience with these events as well. But for us, for Gina and I, it's really big for our business to not only connect with agents. So we've got a whole big stack of business cards that we've collected over the last 2 days that we can send referrals to around the country. But the other great thing about these events is the fact that we are able to get the pulse of the company. Not only, hey, where have we been the last 6 months since our last conference, where we are presently, but where are we headed in the future? And that is huge for us. We really want to know. And the great thing about eXp Realty and these conferences especially is it's not a lot of fluff. It is a lot of, let's get down to business. And this is what we're doing. This is where we're headed. And I'm going to drop some kind of gold nuggets as we go through this morning as to some big announcements that the company has made that's really going to make eXp exclusive brokerage in the country. So there's a lot of great things that we'll kind of chat about. But we gain a lot of stuff, and we can't wait to have you, Kevin, Tracy, Kelly at Shareholders, hopefully in Orlando in June, and be doing this live from Orlando. So we'll be doing that. So
Fantastic. Now, I was with Hank and Gina at eXp Shareholders in Las Vegas, and I can attest to the fact that, you know, it was our first conference there. They talked about, like, I mean, you guys will get a kick out of this. 3 years ago, they had like a drop-down screen and 60 people in the room, and then there was like 1,500 people in attendance. So when you think about the magnitude of what growth can mean, why does everybody go to the event? And I think Hank and Gina want to talk a little bit about that, about, you know what, if you're there live, and I know I took away some things, some introductions that were made, certain things that have been strategic to my business as I've gone forward. But when you're there live, Hank and Gina, just give us a little bit of taste of why that's so important to people, because you can always recap things, but sometimes the intangibles show up when you're there in person.
yeah, great question, Kevin. And the big thing about the live is that we are, you really get a sense of the company, the camaraderie, the intensity, and most importantly, the excitement. Like the excitement building about the company. You know, we're not shrinking in numbers. We are growing. We just announced yesterday we are now officially over 14,000 agents. They said unofficially about 14,400. And just the excitement, the room to erupt. I'll give you another nugget that I said I was going to give. We actually just announced yesterday we are in our 50th state. We just hit West Virginia. We got our broker. Yay! So the United States is all eXp, orange and blue. We are so excited about that. So we're now officially in 50 states, as well as the 3 provinces of Canada. And they also announced that, hey, global domination by 2020. I got a great slide that we took a picture of. That's absolutely huge. They announced that. So we are going to strategically start going into more countries like Australia, New Zealand, England, Germany, France, and there's many more to name, but those are just some off the cuff that they had announced yesterday. So the excitement in the room, the path that we're going. Being here live is so different than just kind of getting an update later or reading a news report on the update. So it was huge to see the room just erupt when we hit that 50th state and they kind of hid the broker, the West Virginia broker, behind all the other brokers on stage, and then she just kind of emerged and they announced it, and it's so cool to see that.
Well, you know, that's funny. I wonder if West Virginia has come out to that rounding of applause ever in the history of announcements. That is fantastic. I mean, to save West Virginia, you know, we all have pocket listings in West Virginia. We've been dying for that last state to get in there, so that's perfect. But you know what? It's funny for Tracy and Kelly, and I want to get your thoughts on this. So I was at eXp, the shareholders in Vegas, which was back in April. So we're talking about 6 months. And I had a chance to ask that man right there with the glasses, Glenn Sanford, what is the plan for going international? And he talked about being able to get the United States right, you know, and the three provinces right, excuse me. And so think about it 6 months later, if he's sitting there at eXpCon talking about the countries that he wants to go into, and he's talking about global emergence in 2020, really having critical mass. In 6 months' time, what it's telling me is that they figured out how to get these states to a level of growth and traction, and that they're on to the next things. They're thinking ahead, right? They're already 12 to 18 months ahead in their planning. That's really exciting for agents to understand that, right? That it's not just, and the reason why I bring that up is Tracy and Kelly are sitting in Western Massachusetts, right? We're all part of the same team. I'm in Florida. Hank and Gina currently are in New Orleans, but they're down in Southwest Florida with us. But business without borders is something that has been so attractive. And so I'll go to Kelly first because I know that she's been in the company for a couple months now. Kelly, when you hear these things about changes in the company, 6 months timelines, it's unheard of in any kind of business to have that type of growth and optimism about what you're going to be able to do on a global landscape. So I just would go to you to say, you know, as you evolve in your business here, having 25 years experience, you know, what does that mean to you? How do you see this kind of evolving for yourself in terms of your creativity in your business?
Well, I'm in Western Massachusetts and Connecticut. My husband is licensed in Florida. He's in Southeast, where you guys are in Southwest. One of the things that he wants to do next year is take 3 months, rent a Winnebago, a motorhome, whatever you want to call it, and he wants to just go around the country. And you know, I'm always the one that's like more like, can we afford this? Can we do this? And he's like, honey, we're just going to go out and we're going to go all over the country. We can recruit people wherever we go that are real estate agents. He goes, we'll meet realtors. He goes, we'll tell them about eXp, and compared to everything else, you know yourself, it's better than anything out there. He goes, and we can put people, our team we can expand it to all 50 states if we choose. That to me is amazing. Never mind if we eventually ever want to go overseas and do something. So our growth can just continue no matter where we are. And that's exceptional.
You know what? You remember John Madden had the nice cruiser and would go around to each of the NFL cities and do it on location? Pre-K to mastery is hitting the road is what you're telling me in 2019. Like we're all going to be part of the barbecue, right? This is going to be fantastic. So, you know, Tracy, you know, when we think about this and what Kelly's talking about, you know, it's allowing us to think broader, right? I have friends in Sydney, Australia, who are dying to hear about what this is going on. We have friends across borders when we think about it, and this is the type of business model that makes it so much fun, right? One of our pillars. So I would ask you, you know, you've had some real good success. You're building your team, and do you feel like you're just scratching the surface in terms of what you're doing? Because you've kind of talked to people, you're dealing with a position of strength there in Western Massachusetts, but talk a little bit about how you see this being a real component of your business going forward, to be able to go outside of Massachusetts, to be able to attract people that you feel are just really talented and you've always wanted to work with.
Well, you know, the opportunity is massive, and we currently are working with somebody in New Mexico who is signed on board. We got their paperwork this week.
Wow, congratulations.
California and Nevada. So she just got licensed in California. She's currently in Nevada, but we're speaking with her about joining our team as well. We have somebody in Eastern Massachusetts now, which is, you know, Massachusetts, but still it's an hour and a half away from us. So our reach through the opportunity at eXp is exponential. And we are really able to bring our systems truly across the state borders and have people engage with us and engage with the systems that have already been proven successful in different areas of the country. We're already doing it. Like I said, we've got 3 just this month alone. So, you know, to say that I'm excited about it is an understatement. I am beyond thrilled, and I can't wait to hear what you guys all bring back. And I've heard some of the technology that we've acquired, and I'm super excited to see how that's going to work and how we can implement that into our systems and bring it to our team. So yeah, it's business without borders intensified, in my opinion. It is just such an easy way to engage with people and bring people in, especially people who are struggling and don't have the systems themselves. If you've already gotten that track record, and if you've already gotten those systems in place and you can just plug and go, it is massive, because they're already in production and they've only been like I said, they just signed on last week and we've already got them plugged into our systems. They're already learning. So as soon as they have everything done, they're ready to go. They have business already started. I'm just so excited.
Yeah, I like the reaction right there at the end. Everybody shake a little bit. It's not the camera, it's just our excitement.
No, it's just excitement. I'm just so excited about it, because I didn't ever think big enough, and I didn't ever think that this was truly an opportunity for me and my small little husband and wife team here in Western Massachusetts to be in all these states at the same time. So it's kind of powerful to me, and I'm so just grateful for the opportunity. And you don't know what you don't know, and until you explore the different options and the different systems available at eXp, you're really doing yourself a disservice, because the potential is just exponential.
No, we can tell the excitement. And you know what? The nice thing is Hank has lassoed somebody in for coffee time with us. We've got a special guest. If I may ask the special guest's name behind, in front of Glenn Sanford.
It's Annie Collins from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Annie Collins from Arizona. Welcome.
Hi, Annie.
This is pre-K to mastery. We're taking you from kindergarten to MBA. That's all the people out there. So what I could say is we're happy to have you. We're so excited that you guys are there at the live event, enjoying everything, understanding, taking it all in. The mind share must be incredible. If you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about what your experience has been at the live event. We know it's so important, and we know it's definitely better to be live than hear it secondhand. So Annie, welcome. Thank you for having the time for us today here on Pre-K to Mastery. Please go ahead.
Very welcome. It is exciting. It's my first conference, and it'll be the first of many, let me tell you. As new to eXp, long time in real estate, and owner of several KW offices, this is the company to be with. This is the conference that's going to jazz you up, take you to that next level. You're going to meet contacts, as many as you can meet, hundreds. And from what I understand, those hundreds turn into dollar signs later. And that's important. And you build a reference of expertise, of mentors across the country, which you could not do if you didn't come here.
Fantastic. And you realize now that obviously being at eXp, you have business without borders, right? So you, having won some really good, strong positions out of Arizona, you're allowed to go outside the state of Arizona, even outside your region, to sort of be able to attract talent and work with people that are great real estate agents and are productive. So that's a fantastic feeling once you've sort of unlocked that creativity. We talked about that today. Being live and being from Arizona, how long have you been in the company, if I may ask?
4 days.
4 days.
Yeah.
You heard it correctly. El Cuatro, 4 days. And on the 5th day, they created eXpCon. That is fantastic. That is great. That is such a testament of just rip the Band-Aid, get right in, start running, include everybody in the excitement, right? What's the downside? Hey, Annie's just joined eXp. Here's what I'm doing.
So I highly recommend for all of you out there who didn't get a chance to come this time, that come to the shareholders meeting in Orlando in June. Come to Las Vegas a year from now for the next conference. It will change your life. and it'll change your business.
That is fantastic. You know what? You guys talked about it a little bit, and Hank, you wanted to touch on this, and Gina, sometimes when you're building a business, and let's think about this as building a business, right? What is eXp affording you? Well, you pay a monthly fee for the access to technology and the education. And when you think about these events and what it could mean for you in terms of referral business, relationships, long-term business, right? This is what we're doing. We're making relationships for the long term, and that's the best practices and integrity. There's a resource that needs to be, used here to get to something like eXpCon or shareholders. But Hank and Gina and Annie, being there live, can you talk about the business decision of using these resources now to build your business later, and why this is so tangible? And Hank, I'll go to you first, just to kind of say, this is something you've wanted to do. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So to your point, Kevin, the big thing here is the referrals that we're going to make here will turn into dollar signs down the road. Okay, so it is an investment in the beginning. But the other side of that is not only is it referrals, and maybe we can have a future episode on this, but what Annie just said is the mentorship here. Being able to sit down with some of the top names in real estate. I mean, Jay Kinder is here. Michael Reese is here. Marcy Willems is here. Brent Gove is here. Gene Frederick, which, by the way, this is a very, very special guest. This is actually Gene Frederick's sister.
Oh, wow. Uncle Gene.
Yes.
Uncle Gene. He's the reason why we're all here. Let's just all.
Yes, absolutely true.
It is.
Uncle Gene.
So this is one reason why I'm glad that Annie came down and we were able to get her on this morning. Is you didn't immediately come to eXp.
I did not, due to children at home, other things going on in my life. When I heard about it, I was on fire 2.5 years ago when he was excited. Trust me. But it wasn't the right time in my life. And here I am. I'm excited. I'm not looking back. I'm looking forward. And let me tell you, the experts that I have met, the mentors that I have met, and they're approachable, all of them. And I've met them all. And I've got their cards, and I'm calling. And they said call. So you can't, that's huge from a new eXper, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The accessibility to everyone within the company. And they said that yesterday, even from the leadership on down to some of the top names. So this goes, it's really twofold. It's not only getting involved with the mentors, the people that can help you with your business or help you with your attractability of this company, but also the referral. So, you need Scottsdale, Arizona, Annie's your person. She's been doing the business a long time. That's someone that we feel comfortable because we built a relationship at this conference. We've had food and drinks together and spent time together. And so now I feel comfortable sending a referral to Annie, and I know that she's going to take great care of them. And I know that's a future segment. So like I said, we have a ton of business cards here that we've hit up the people. We will be staying in touch with them. And that's really important in these events.
Annie, I have to ask you a really personal question.
Yes, you may.
If you're Gene's sister, and we all saw the video in 2015. We passed that around. Like that's passing the hat around. And when Gina and Hank went down, like we had talked to Gene, but they went down to Austin to visit family and then sat down with Gene and Susan, and they were like, okay, where's the paperwork? How on earth did you last 2.5 years before you came over to Uncle Gene? I mean, I want to work with you because you've got discipline. I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, there's absolute discipline there, because I don't know if I could have handled it with Uncle Gene on my shoulder going, yeah, that's okay. You can keep staying where you are. It's okay.
But it's why every one of you that aren't here today will be here next year, right? You're going to save up. You're going to do what you can do to get here. And it'll make a huge difference. And I'll introduce you personally to Gene and Susan. We'll have
fantastic.
A great
he talks about it.
Kevin, hold on 1 second. Timing. I want to expand on that for just a moment. In this model, we do have that bucket of attracting agents and being able to have them kind of in our rev share team, but not everybody is ready on our time. And that's really, really big, that we just can't hit him and hit him and hit him and hit him and hit him over the head and be like, you're stupid if you don't come. That's not what it's about. It is really about when the time is right for them. So you really have to nurture them and stay in touch with them. And maybe they'll be ready in 3 months, 6 months, 18 months, 2.5 years. But whenever that timing is right, that is, you just can't force this on someone and their business. They are going to come when they are ready. And it was said yesterday in Faithful Attraction, you know, you can't just go through and stabbing them with a stake and say, hey, you're coming to eXp. You know, you can't do that. It's the timing part. It's when they're ready, and they're going to come. You know, they said that yesterday. They will come. It's just on their time.
You bring up a great point. And Annie, you know, KW, Kelly Duncan-Smith, KW, Tracy Gagne, KW, you guys are all from a model that was great to all of you. And you wish everybody in all of their models well. You know, this is a model that's so unique. We don't know what to compare it to, right? Because of all the components. So Gene says it best. He goes, they will come when they're ready. He said there's things to get through like ego risk, timing, logistics, understanding the numbers. But once they really are thoughtful, and it's up to the agents to be able to educate people so that it's on their time. I think that's such a great point, that we're all excited because we're on this side of the panel, right? We're all excited. We know what the opportunities are, but sometimes it's not as translatable right away to somebody because they're not getting the repetition, right? It's nothing, you know, it is exceptional, the model, but it's just getting that repetition and getting people to have real comfort about, hey, this is a shift. This is a shift for the better. I can look forward 5 years from now and realize I will not be in the same position I am today if I embrace this model. And that's really huge. So, you know, 2.5 years in, that is as good as I've ever heard. And the fact that you were so close to the fire and you didn't get burned. So fantastic. Annie, is there anything else you'd like to share with us that we have not talked about with eXpCon, other than you've got a big day ahead of you? I know this is the last day of the conference. You're already looking forward to Orlando and then Vegas next year for eXpCon. That's going to be fantastic. Everybody smiles when they hear Vegas.
Think of anything. I think I said it all. Just put it on your calendar, make it happen.
Fantastic. We really do appreciate the time. Would you please say hi to Uncle Gene and Aunt Susan for us? We missed them.
Absolutely. And thank you. It was just awesome to talk to all of you.
Absolutely. Welcome. I can't wait to see what you do on the 6th day. Right? The 6th day. Here we go.
I'm resting on number 7. I'm a rest on day 7.
Yeah, you can do all the rest of you on day 7. We know that. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Wow, that's a fantastic story. Honestly, that's great. You know, Kelly and Tracy, you guys have certainly experience in the same model that, you know, Annie came from. And to think that, you know, that this is Jean's sister, this is so wonderful to hear. But, you know, you think about that, it's timing, right? We talked for a while. We went through a lot of things to help you guys get comfort. And it was good for us as well, right? It made Gina, Hank, and myself ask questions of ourselves, like, am I covering it right? Am I asking myself the questions? What would somebody coming to us want to know about this model so that they feel better about the transition? And I think, you know, Kelly and Tracy, you've embraced it wholly. Once you decided to make your choice, you've hit the ground running, kind of like Annie, right? It's 4 days in. Let's not waste time. Life's too short. Let's help people understand this. So Tracy, you know, you've obviously had a lot of growth recently. Kelly's had a lot of growth. What are some of the things that you touch on when you talk to agents about, you know, what this model and why it's so unique?
I think you have to know the other business models in order to speak to this one. And I think when you are comparing the business models, you're making a business, we're all business people. And I think that by evaluating them each individually and finding out which fit is the best for you is really the only way to go. And when you evaluate not only what it can do for you, but if you have a team, what it can do for your team, and compare that to the others, you know, for me, it was a no-brainer to make the decision. It was just figuring out how. And because moving companies is not easy. It's not fun. Let's face it. It's kind of like moving your household, right?
Yep.
So you have to prepare for that. And once you make that decision, you just have to follow the systems and you have to move forward, and you just have to go all in. Because when you are evaluating those business plans and you see the benefits and the rewards that you get from eXp, in my mind, it was like an absolute no-brainer. I had to do it. I had to do it. There was no other option for me. I evaluated every other brokerage out there. God knows I don't want to be a broker, right? It's not broker, not me in any way, shape, or form. So it was just, I just had to. Just had to, because we evaluated it business, dollars and cents. What's it going to bring me? What's it going to bring me, my team?
Makes total sense. And Kelly, I know that we started our conversation as well with Hank and Gina, and we started, and where you both were great. Kelly put flat out, these are the questions I want answers to, because these are the questions that my broker or my principal is going to ask me as to why I would think of ever leaving. And we've seen people get, a sense of what eXp is and then go from their current model to another boutique or another model. And one thing I would just say before we go to Kelly, you keep those relationships. You want everybody to be in the best possible situation for them. There is no harm in them going, yeah, there's certain, you'd love for them to join your team, but you know what? It doesn't say that if they stay with real estate and they have a long, fruitful career, that there isn't a reason for them, one, to go there at the time, or two, that if they're dealing from a position of strength, maybe eXp down the road is something that they really look at and value because that's the right time for them. So there's no lack of relationship that still gets forged. You just say, hey, I wish you the best of luck. Let me keep you up with what we're doing over here, because it's always good market intel, right? You always want to know what your market's doing and what's going on out there. So Kelly, I'd let you kind of segue into that, because I know you've talked to a bunch of agents and some people are making transitions to other brokerages and you're staying in touch with them because you're like, I know where this is headed. I just want to make sure I keep you informed.
Exactly. So ultimately it's just a matter of time before they're going to come. And it literally, I met with probably 20 companies over the last 14 years, because I believe you should always know what your competition's doing. Mm-hmm. So you should always look at everything that's coming down the pike. So I had literally met 20 companies and nothing compared to Keller Williams. And I thought, oh, well, this is great. I get this eXp pitch, and I stopped dead in my tracks and I said, this not only compares to Keller Williams, this is blowing it away. And it took me 2 months of Kevin and I talking, because I kept waiting for the aha. I kept waiting for the shoe to drop. Oh, well, there's the catch. And the more I looked there was nothing. And I even went back to my team lead and said, this company is a threat to us. And I came from like, I'm Keller Williams. This company is a threat to us. We have to change the way we're doing things. We really have to look at our big picture. So it's funny because, and then I realized they weren't going to listen to me or change anything. I'm like, okay, eXp, here I come, Kev. Catch me, I'm jumping.
Oh, yeah. And there's so much fun to that, right? Because if we think about it, we were trying to figure out how do we educate ourselves, right? I got up to speed. My business is, my background, and talking to both you and Tracy and certainly Hank, and we get, when you share information, you become smarter. And as I get a little longer in the tooth in my business career, wow, Hank is giving me a little vertigo. I like it. We're going into a different section of this is pre-K to Mastery 2.0. We're getting a little bit of a new view. I think that's where I've enjoyed this so much, is because it forced me to find answers to certain things. And the great thing was, and I think you can both attest to this and say, here's Kevin with a little less experience in real estate, but he's getting us the answers. They're at his fingertips. He's only having to take an extra step by going into the cloud, by asking agent services, by asking Hank Bertodatto, right? By going within his network. And all of the answers, thankfully, were answers you guys could digest and say, okay, that's common sense. That's why I'm continuing with this conversation. And I think Tracy said it best. It got to a point where she had no choice but to say yes. And that's such a wonderful feeling for everybody. If you think about it, that means it has nothing to do with me or Kelly or Tracy or Hank or Gina. It's the model. It's the business. It's the process. If we're able to explain it in the right way, eventually you're going to find the answers you're looking for. And that's a wonderful thing to say. Don't just take my word for it. Let's keep educating you until you get to a level of comfort and it's the right time for you. So it's heartwarming to think of what we've done in 2 or 3 months and how fast you guys are like, boy, we really can't shake him now with his pumpkin shirts and the whole thing. What's he think? It's Halloween? It's close. Not yet. But since we're all standing up right now, I want to give Hank and Gina a quick second here. Now, Hank, you're taller than Glenn Sanford, which I love. You're towering over Glenn.
Taller.
Yes. Glenn has been down to avatar size, which is great. So Hank, we've talked about a lot of things today. We've talked about the importance of being at live events, the resources needed and why it's such a great business decision and what are the tangible effects of being live. We've talked about the process, and we've had a wonderful conversation with Annie Collins from Arizona, right? 5 days in. This is her 5th day. This is fantastic. But obviously she had a pretty good preview of the model. It was just when it was the right time. So we talk about timing, explaining the model right, getting the answers to questions. What other things are we leaving out or would you like to talk about today?
Well, we had to move.
Yes. Moving is very important. Not easy.
We're still with Glenn, and he's still remaining silent. He has chosen not to speak this morning. I don't know if it's laryngitis or what, or maybe he's getting ready for the final session. No, final thoughts are you just have to be here. You just absolutely have to be here. I don't know if you saw the waves of people that were going behind Gina and I. The excitement, the buzz is growing in the room. I know we're going to have to sign off here in a moment. But this is just absolutely fabulous. You have to be here live. You have to meet your other avatars in the flesh. You've got to enjoy this time with them, build relationships, get referrals, and then start getting some mentor partners and maybe even some mastermind partners from around the country to help you with your business and help it grow. So that's kind of, my kind of final thoughts there. Kevin, if you got another question.
Well, I would just say, I know you wanted to leave this to the end, but you are a big advocate for technology. It's what our platform is based on, and it's why we have so much fun and creativity with this. Hank, there were oh, wow. Hey,
Mitch
how are we?
He's our director of marketing. You're live.
Who are we talking to? Who's watching?
We're talking Kevin Debs, Tracy Gagney, Kelly Duncan-Smith. They're our agents in other parts of the country.
Why aren't you guys here? What
Oh,
happened?
great question.
My son's getting married Friday.
I'm sorry, Mitch. It was getting a little fuzzy there. I couldn't hear you. Did you say something? Did you just wish me good morning?
Yeah,
good morning to you. It's great to see you.
And next event, I want to see all of you guys here.
We're there.
Mitch Robinson is calling you out.
Orlando and the Vegas tour.
I'm so glad I can't hear what you're saying right now. Let me just put it that way.
Mitch, it's so great to see you. Wow, that's fantastic. Our director of marketing, he just came in and bombed all of us. So guess what, guys? We have to go next time. We have no choice but to go.
I crossed my heart.
I would just say that there were 2 great announcements at this conference about the technology, right? About Caravan and Verbella. And Hank, I'll just let you spend 30 seconds just giving everybody a preview of what we've done to expand our platform and make it so, much easier for agents to do their business.
Yeah, absolutely. We have 2 things. One is the Show Me Now app. Okay, Show Me Now app, absolutely fabulous. It's going to be rolling out. Basically, it's like the best way to describe it from what my understanding is, it's kind of like Uber. But so like a client would go on, they pick a house, they say, show me now, and it would get the nearest agent around to actually get up what they're doing and go show the people the house. So, kind of a cool concept. They're going to test it in 5 markets, but we had bought that technology. The second thing, you kind of hinted on it, and I don't think we've really talked about it yet, but the other thing is that we have a letter of intent to purchase Verbella and make them part of our eXp family. For those out there who don't know what Verbella is, that's our avatar world. So in other words, other companies like KW, Remax, Coldwell Banker, whoever, they cannot duplicate what we're doing with this company, Verbella. We have an exclusive with them. So I don't know about you, but that is huge news. That's absolutely huge that we have the proprietary rights now to the avatar virtual world And it would take a long time for another company to develop this, is what they're saying. So we're super excited about that.
And just the disclaimer, it came out on the news this morning, so the letter of intent is out there in the public, so everybody should know about it, but it's just great to be able to put it on Pre-K to Mastery. I want to thank our panel in Massachusetts, Tracy Gagne and Kelly Duncan-Smith. I want to thank live from Bourbon Street, Hank Bertodatto and Dina Bertodatto. And literally, they're expanding eXp family. So that more news to come on that. But you know what, guys? This has been so much fun. We keep building traction and momentum. Thanks to all of our viewers today, and we're excited about the future. And have a great day down there, Hank. Great day to everybody. Enjoy your Wednesday. Kick off the middle of the week just the right way. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.